Picture this. You're driving to work, already 10 minutes late. Traffic is crawling. Your coffee's gone cold. And you're doing that thing where you just keep telling yourself, today's gonna be fine. And then that little orange light flickers on. Check engine. Your stomach just dropped. You felt that, right? You don't even need to Google it. You already know what it means. It means money. Money you don't have. Money you were supposed to be saving. Money that keeps slipping through your hands no matter how hard you work. So you do what most people do. You turn up the music. You tell yourself it's probably nothing. And you keep driving. And honestly, for a while, it is nothing. Life goes on. Weeks pass. And then one morning on the highway, the car just dies. Tow truck, $200. The original problem that was $300, it festered. Now it's a full engine issue, $2,000. You miss shifts, lose income. What started as a small, fixable problem quietly became a $2,500 disaster. And here's the part that really gets me. That's not bad luck. That's not carelessness. That's math. Cold, systematic, predictable math. And once you understand it, you can finally start fighting back. My name is James. I'm obsessed with understanding how money actually works, not the inspirational poster version, not the just stop buying coffee version. The real mechanics of why so many hardworking people stay stuck. If you've ever felt like you're running as fast as you can just to stay in the same place, this video is going to explain exactly why, and more importantly, what to do about it. Because today, we're talking about something most financial channels won't touch. Being broke isn't just uncomfortable, it's expensive, and the system is designed that way. Here's something most people have never heard of. Economists call it the poverty premium. It's the extra amount that low-income people pay for the exact same goods and services, simply because they don't have financial flexibility. We're not talking pocket change either. A 2022 study by Fair by Design in the UK found that people on lower incomes pay on average over $500 more per year just for basic essentials. Same products, same services, higher price just because of where they sit financially. Let that sink in for a second. The less money you have, the more you pay. That's not a metaphor. That's a documented, measurable economic reality. And once you see it, you're going to start noticing it everywhere. Let's start with something as simple as groceries. If you've got a couple $100 of breathing room in your budget, you can buy in bulk. The big bag of rice, the multi-pack, the family size, lower cost per unit. You're actually spending less over time. But if money is tight, you buy what you can afford right now, the small bag, the single pack, which sounds responsible. But the cost per serving is often 30 to 40% higher. Same food, higher price. Every single week, every single year. That's the poverty premium in its most basic form. Now let's talk about banks, because this one genuinely frustrates me. Americans pay roughly $9 billion in overdraft fees every single year. $9 billion. And here's the cruel part. The people paying those fees are overwhelmingly the ones who can least afford it. You're $5 short. Life happens, and your bank hits you with a $35 penalty. You didn't have $5, and now you owe $35. That's a 700% fee on a mistake that took 5 seconds to make. And what's wild is, if you have money in your account, none of that happens. Banks don't charge fees to people who don't need to worry about fees. The system rewards the comfortable and punishes the stretched. Now, here's where it gets psychological, and this is the piece I really want you to understand. In 2013, researchers Sendil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir published a groundbreaking book called Scarcity. And what they found completely changed how we understand financial decision-making. When people are under financial stress, it doesn't just feel bad, it actually reduces cognitive bandwidth. The constant mental load of managing tight finances, calculating every purchase, anticipating every bill, dreading every unexpected cost. It occupies so much mental space that it measurably affects judgment. In one study, people under financial pressure performed significantly worse on cognitive tests than when that pressure was removed. Think about that. It's not that people in financial hardship make bad decisions because they're bad with money. It's that the stress of scarcity literally consumes the mental energy needed to make good decisions. The system creates the very conditions that make it harder to escape the system. And that's not a character flaw, that's neuroscience. So let's zoom out and look at the full picture. Your car breaks down. You don't have a buffer. So you put it on a credit card, maybe one with a 24% interest rate. Now you're paying back more than the repair cost. While you're dealing with that, a bill you forgot about triggers an overdraft fee. The stress from all of this affects your focus at work. Maybe you miss a shift. Maybe you make a mistake that costs you. And the whole time you're buying small, paying more, getting hit with fees, burning through your mental energy just trying to survive the week. That's not one problem. That's a system of compounding problems, each one feeding the next. And here's the thing. None of it has anything to do with how smart you are or how hard you're working. It's structural. It's mathematical. And it's been operating quietly in the background this entire time. So, what do we actually do about it? Because I'm not here just to make you feel seen. I want to give you something actionable. Think of your finances like a bucket with holes in it. Most people try to solve a leaking bucket by pouring more water in, more hours, more hustle, more income. But if the holes are still there, fees, interest, short-term fixes that cost more long-term, the water keeps draining. Before you try to fill the bucket, you have to patch the holes. And the single most powerful patch you can apply right now? A buffer. I'm not talking about a 6-month emergency fund. I'm not asking you to overhaul your entire life this week. I'm talking about one goal. Get $500 to $1,000 sitting in a separate account, untouched as your financial shock absorber. That one change, right there, breaks the most vicious part of the cycle. Because a small problem stays small. The check engine light becomes a $300 fix, not a $2,500 catastrophe. An overdraft becomes a non-event. A rough week doesn't become a financial spiral. Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. James, that's easy to say. I don't have an extra $500. And I hear you, genuinely. But here's the reframe I want to offer. When you do get a little extra money, a bonus, a tax refund, a good month, the instinct is to spend it. And honestly, after months or years of pressure, that makes complete sense. You deserve to breathe, but the most powerful thing you can do with that money isn't to reward yourself right now. It's to remove a future problem, fix the thing that keeps breaking. Buy the quality version that lasts instead of the cheap version you'll replace 3 times. Knock out the fee-triggering account. Reduce one recurring cost permanently. That's not deprivation. That's engineering. You're literally redesigning the system you live inside. Every single leak you plug reduces pressure. Less pressure means clearer thinking. Clearer thinking means better decisions. Better decisions change the math. And when the math changes, everything changes. You're not failing at money. You've been playing a game with rules that were stacked against you. And nobody bothered to explain the rules. Now you know. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pause. Seriously. Think about one place in your financial life where you're paying extra because you don't have flexibility. One fee. One recurring bad deal. One short-term fix that keeps costing you. Just one. Write it down. That's your target. That's where you start. Because you don't have to fix everything today. You just have to fix one thing, and then another, and another. That's how the math starts working for you. If this hit differently than most financial content, share it with someone who needs to hear it. A lot of people feel this every single day and have no idea why. Sometimes, understanding the problem is what finally unlocks the solution. I'll see you in the next one.